Hi everyone, this is Gail. Welcome to my channel. This is, I think, post Hurricane live stream number 3, I think it is. Anyway, I have just a little bit of amount of time and wanted to come on. You all have asked questions about kind of where we are in the process and how things are going in the community. So I wanted to give you that update and let you know kind of what's been going on. So my name is Gail, and welcome to my Be Bodacious channel, where we are all about not letting life get in the way of living. That outlook has been a little challenging lately, but we've kind of had to dig deep to find some ways to do that. I want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and don't forget to give me a like on the live stream. Now, during this live stream, feel free to ask any questions that you have of anything you might want to know. I am in Northeast Tennessee. I'm not in Western North Carolina. A lot of emphasis is being placed on Western North Carolina, which is very reasonable. They were, oops, I don't know why that's happening. They were hit very, very hard, and we have been hit hard as well, but not as hard as Western North Carolina. I do want to make that clear. Also, one of the questions that has come about with me is what our damage was, and I'll get to that in just a second. I do want to say hi to Valerie Reese. It's all about the adventure. Hi, Valerie. Valerie's had her own adventure down in Columbia. I'm looking forward to seeing more about that. I've been able to catch some of the things on your Facebook page, but not everything, but I've been trying. Also, we have Living Positively After Challenges. So, hello. Let me click you all, bring you all up here. Peter Parker's in the house. Hi, Peter Parker. Welcome. Good. It's good to see you all. It's really good to be back on a live stream. Hi, Zion the service dog. How are you? Yeah, got everybody saying hi to everybody. That's awesome. Okay, well, let's see. Where do I even start with this? It's been such a unique time period. First, I'll start off. I guess the best thing would be to talk about the damage that we've had. We were very, very fortunate, uh, very fortunate in that we didn't sustain a lot of damage. During the hurricane, what happened was we lost electricity pretty much early on. Helene came in on the 27th. So by the morning of the 28th, we didn't have any electricity. So we went to the travel trailer and kind of, made our home there for a little while. So what happened was we had some damage to the top of the travel trailer, a branch, and it knocked down, well, not really down, but it damaged the antenna that we had on the travel trailer, which is not a huge deal in and of itself. For us, the big thing is that the electrical system in the travel trailer, we had a surge, and that has damaged the electrical system in the travel trailer. Um, it, Hopefully it can be fixed. We had an electrician come out and looked at it, and yeah, he's like, we're going to do our best. So actually, we wound up having to take it to a RV dealer where they're going to be able to get to it on, get this, the 12th. And this thing all happened on the 27th of September. So yeah, so it's been over a month. Our community has really pulled together. It's been great to watch, because at one point we had to, because early on, the first thing that happened was, well, there are 3 main roads going into my town, and the first thing that happened was all of them were blocked. There was no in or out of this town for about I'm going to say about 14, 16 hours, I guess, at least, in and out. So, yeah, so that's been kind of interesting. I actually have a little shorts on it if you haven't seen it, where the storm is over, but but uh, it's still a little windy at this point in the situation. And yeah, during that whole like 90-second video, 3 trees fell, and this is after the storm was over. And I would say that like our backyard and our neighbor's backyard, we probably lost easy 15 trees, um, which in the grand scheme of things, you know, the travel trailer being damaged and the trees down compared to what other people lost, that's really small potatoes. Really small potatoes. And let's see. Zion the service dog says, "Oh my goodness, I hope you're okay and that everybody that got here with the hurricane, I hope everybody is okay." Um yeah, we're alive. Alive is a good thing to say. It's been kind of tough. Like we know people who lost everything, and I do mean everything. But comparatively, we're okay. We did have the Red Cross shelter. That was an interesting experience. We had that open for a whole whopping 14 days. So yeah, I'm going to pull up some photos too, um, just to kind of give you an idea more of what we were up against. I'll have to go back and look. I'm not sure how many photos and videos I actually have online. I am still trying to get everything up. I have so much footage that I am going through. It's crazy. Let me see. I'm looking for one with the flood. And of course, I can't find what I'm looking for right now. Pull that one up. No. You know, I'm so good at hitting all the wrong buttons. So hang on, bear with me here. But one thing I can say is this community, the way it has pulled together, it has been an incredible thing to see. Because, like I said, right at first, with the roads being the way they were, we had to really just take care of ourselves. You know, that did that. Here we go. I'm going to share this screen so you all can see a little bit here of how it's been and what's been going on. Like this video I'm going to show you, it's like right at the very beginning. This is after the storm has come through. And I'm sorry it's vertical. Let me see if I can expand this screen. I don't know how much that helped. But the water here, this is not sped up or anything. This is how fast the water was. And this is where I walk my dog. And back here in the back corner, let me stop it. Right back here is a bridge. And so this whole thing, this video was taken after it stopped raining. So this would have been taken on the 28th. And that gives you an idea kind of what was going on there. The folks across the street from us had over 2 feet of water in their house. And we got really, really fortunate in that we didn't. Let's see. Zion, the service dog, is asking, "Can I be a mod if that's okay with you? No pressure." Yeah, I'll do that. You've been here before. Let me do that. I've kind of changed some of my policies on moderating here. There we go. And let's see here. 2 things going. Add as moderator. All right, so a lot of the questions that I've been asked. Okay, you're a mod, and somebody else is a mod. Yes, it was a whole lot of water, and it was moving very, very fast. and there was really not much notice at all that was given. Nobody expected this to happen, like nobody at all. We, we were expecting, yeah, there was going to be some water, but absolutely, positively, nobody had any idea it was going to be a major deal. You know, what we were expecting was that the places, the low lying areas that usually flood, that's what we were expecting to happen. We were expecting just those usual spots. And instead, it was everywhere. And that's been a real challenge here. I'm going to show you another one of the flooding. Um, and here we go. Yeah, this is a little fast as I go through here. Let me see if I can expand this. But this is the main highway, US Highway 421 in our town. And fortunately, it's quit raining because this water was completely up over the road at one point. And so, what happened here, just kind of give you a better idea of what happened, is we had rain that came in for a few days before Hurricane Helene, and it completely saturated the ground. Then Hurricane Helene came in and kind of pushed that out, and we had about a couple of hours maybe where it wasn't raining. And then she came in full force, and we had somewhere between 12 inches to 16 inches, depending on where you were in the county and who you're talking to. So let me see. It sucks because of the time change, and now it's messing with my brain cells. We lost an hour of sleep. Oh, you should have gained an hour. Oh, even Valerie Reese says you should have gained an extra hour of sleep. Did you turn your clock the wrong way? And Diane says, no, because I live in California. So when the time changes, it says it's when it gets pushed back to 12 a.m. So we lose an hour. Usually what happens is you lose an hour in the spring and gain an hour back in the fall. But yeah, let's see here. A couple of extra photos. Oh, my thing doesn't want to. Okay, my mouse and browser are acting a little squirrely here. Ha! Okay, well, you get the idea on that. Here's some of the trees that were down. Let me back up here. Anyway, you should go watch my little short video on when I was out and the trees were falling. Let me see. Yeah, here's one about where we were driving a couple of days later. So we're going down, and you can see that there are just trees down left and right that they cleared off the road, and power lines were dropped down. There was still some flooding. This is all the day after. No, actually, yeah, this is the day after the September 28th there. So they had a lot of work to do. Our road crews have been phenomenal. Had tons and tons of work to do. We have 378 roads in our county, and over 300 of them had lots of damage. So they have been busy redoing the road. Now, the main highway, US 421, which is the main highway, that got washed out in a bunch of spots. And it's going to be a while before they get that fixed. To give you a better idea, probably, of what the damage is and stuff, let's put it this way. The kids aren't going back to school until Wednesday, and that's well over a month. today's the 3rd of November. It came in on the 28th. And there are some people that are even questioning what it's going to be. Now, all these cars that you see lined up here, this is at a park in Damascus. And these are actually workers in already from out of town and out of state. And people, I see this RV, people were having to leave that had planned their vacations and stuff here. And it was just a real mess. But this drive is called, that we're fixing to have to go on here, it's called the Snake, and it's on US 421. That part's not damaged, except they had trees down. But the Snake has, you've got a couple of mountains, you've got like 300 curves, I think it is. It's just, and it's steep and it's narrow and it's switchbacks. And all of a sudden, that became our primary way of going anywhere. And so this whole little video right here is we're going around the town of Damascus, Virginia, which not US, but which Highway 91 used to connect the two cities, Damascus and Mountain City. And part of it washed away, and they had to do a lot of fixing. And you can use it now. It was just opened, I think, last week. They finally got that road open. Anyhow, scoot forward a little bit here. So, yeah, you already see the sign there for the switchbacks. It gets a little crazy. But, we did have that route. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, here's just a couple of pictures. Our sheriff had to get himself a new vehicle, one that would go in high water. So they got that, thank goodness. Oh yeah, this is what my backyard looked like after we got my van extracted from the tree. There's a couple of the trees down there. Okay, let me go over here. No, it's actually, we got really lucky. They're not having to make up the school year, that the time that they've missed. So we're I got to tell you, we're very, very fortunate on that. Because the kids have been out. They're going to, how you have that summer slump and kids forget everything. So we're hoping that they're going to be able to recover that. So we'll see. Everybody's really nervous about how the kids are. Okay, so this photo is a supply giveaway, supply distribution, and we had tons of things that we gave away, but we just ran the numbers today. Our total on the supply distribution, we've got things there, and Valerie came through in a big way. And Valerie, we really appreciate that. I hope I told you that when we went to the shelter to take the socks, that somebody came up to us right as I came in, and I was handing them to the Red Cross person. One of the people in the shelter came up and asked if they had any socks, because they were going to go work on their house, and he didn't have any clean socks, and wondered if we had some that he could wear. And Valerie, that was like literally, I had not said anything to anybody about having socks. They're in an opaque bag. I just used one of my regular tote bags. And he came up, and it was just really good, perfect timing on that. So we appreciate it. A bunch of you all have donated, and I got to tell you, y'all are amazing, because we could not have done this recovery as easily without you all. You donated sleeping bags. Valerie gave us the socks from Bombas, and we had heaters. We had money for fuel given. We had blankets, all kinds of amazing things. And our county, let me put it this way about how our county was hit. We talk about a lot about going on mission trips, and Valerie just went on a mission trip, which I'm excited to catch up on as I can. But we don't often think about people coming here from other countries to work here in this country, right? So our town, our county, Johnson County, our town, Mountain City, was hit so badly that we had a team come in from the Bahamas to help us in our town. The Bahamas. And let me tell you that while these people were here from these wonderful tropical islands, it snowed. So, huge culture shock for them, a leap of mindset for us to realize that, hey, we have become a foreign mission field. Yeah, that's been kind of really something to kind of have to work through. But with y'all's help, with mission team's help, with everything coming together, the supplies that you all gave, we've had 845 people that we have helped. 845 people. And we're just one church in one town. And, we ran the numbers today to get the most recent total. And that doesn't count the people who have come and gotten food out of the blessing box, because we don't keep up with that. We just keep putting in there. And, that has been, I really don't have words for that. And you all know I talk all the time. And I just don't have words for that. To think that potentially with the blessing box and the people, because we did meals at the Red Cross shelter for a while, but I don't want to talk about them too much. But we did meals at the Red Cross shelter. And, when you factor in those numbers, we have helped over 1,000 people. And I just don't have words for that. I just don't. Valerie's asking if we still need help. Yes, we do. I'm not sure what all the needs are right now. We have a work team coming in. Our third work team is coming in this week, and they are going to be cutting trees. But when we do the giveaways, we need help with those. No question. There is a big effort right now in the community. We're actually partnering with Goodwill, not we. It's the Hometown Service Coalition. People have donated tons of used clothing. And when I say tons, I am not kidding. Literal tons of used clothing. And so they're having to go through, and that all has to be sorted by hand, one piece at a time. A old department store is loaning their building out, but it's still like there's no clothing racks or anything like that. So they're having to find them, make them, try putting them together. And that's a big thing that's going on. We have something called the State Line Distribution Center, which is literally on the Virginia-North Carolina state line. And they are giving out supplies and accepting donations and processing just as fast as they can to get all of that done. So there's a lot of things going on, and a lot of hands are needed. I think the Hometown Service Coalition is still accepting anybody that wants to come help, and so yeah, the need is ongoing. We're going to have some need later. I'm going to say this spring, because we're really in a strange situation in this county, because those of us here in Mountain City are much farther along in the recovery process than those who are in the community of Trade, Tennessee. And Trade, people go, that's a funny name, but it's named for an old Native American trading post, and people would go there to trade, and that's how the community got its name. And we are talking about going back to like Daniel Boone time, that time period. Um, yeah, so we're going to have some need for longer term, not longer term, but some need for mission teams as we come into spring. Like right now, there's this push. People are trying to build tiny houses, cabins, doing whatever they can to get a family under roof in a stable situation. So, what I mean by that is they're getting them literally under a roof, but they're not really like, there's no painting of inside of houses or things like that. So we're hoping that this spring we can get some folks to paint. So get some teams together to do that. There's still going to be some construction teams that are going to be needed coming into spring. It's we're still kind of disorganized with all of this because nobody expected it, so nobody was set up, so we didn't have things like right in place really good, like some places do that are more set. I don't want to say more set up, but more used to disasters coming in. Like if we'd been Florida, they're more used to this kind of stuff. Um, we're still kind of like getting with the program here. So we're moving more from the kind of acute stage of this, and we're starting to shift over toward the longer term recovery. So I went to a workshop yesterday, and they were saying that our recovery is going to be easily up to 5 years. So it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be a challenge for a long time. So we do need help, but I don't know what kind of help we need right yet. So if you want to come, I will try to put some things together to figure out like what we need and so forth. Now, having said that, if everything goes well, we're going to go out of town. We had planned to leave town on October the 1st to go see my grandbaby and take some time before we go into the Advent season and into Christmastide and so forth. Obviously, when that storm came in and we saw that it might be bad, we just canceled that vacation and we didn't go anywhere, which is good for a couple of different reasons. One, it let me be here to help, and I needed to be here to help. The other thing is, had we taken our vacation, we might not have been able to get back with the travel trailer. We might have had to have parked that somewhere, or I don't know what we would have done. Maybe just left it at a campground or something. Because like even now, here it is, this came in on the 28th of September. We're at the 3rd of November, and we still have low-lying power lines, and we still have debris at the edges of the road, and some places only have one-lane roads, which are supposed to be two-lane, and I don't know. We're supposed to take the travel trailer Tuesday to the RV center so they can start working on it around the 12th, kind of mid-month. And I don't know for sure how we're going to do this. I have a route that we think we're going to be okay on. Well, we know we're going to be okay on after we get out of town, after we get out of the county. But it's a matter of like, how do we get the travel trailer out of the county and avoid some of this? And we're still, even though we're on the 3rd of November, we still have trees falling. So like what's happened is, you know how one tree will fall and it'll catch on like the tree next to it? Well, when the wind blows hard or when it rains some more, over goes both trees. And so that's creating issues on the roadways, that's knocking down power lines. It's just, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do that. So, okay, Valerie, she says she wants more information, and I will get some of that to you just probably after we get back. Pampered Chef Recipes is here. Hi, Kay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know. We just go through doing, the best we can. But I do feel like that when you're in a disaster area and you're relatively okay, I feel like that gives you an obligation to help in any way you can, as much as you can. And we've all been pretty busy. We've all been pretty busy. Kay, you weren't here, but just a few minutes ago, I announced that we just added up the numbers today. So far, our church has helped 850 people with supplies. And that I was telling everybody, that doesn't count the people that we helped through the blessing box at church, because that's a 24/7 food pantry and it's on the honor system. So you just go and get what you need. Also, we did the meals at the Red Cross shelter. That's not counted in there. So all of that, we're easily over 1,000 people that we've helped. So it's been very, very busy, very busy. And some really amazing things have happened because our community has really pulled together. We've had to, really. FEMA was a little late getting here. Red Cross left way early. They said they were here for 14 days, so I'm just going to take their word for it. But they left when we had hundreds of people without electricity and snow in the forecast. So I feel like they left way earlier than what they should have. So that has caused us to really pull together. Now, I will say Samaritan's Purse has been phenomenal. Oh my gosh. They were like the first ones here, and they are still here. And I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon from what I'm hearing. They've mucked out houses, they have cut trees, they have removed debris, they've helped at the warehouse where they're doing the clothes. They still don't have a name for that yet, so I'm just going to call it the warehouse where they're doing the clothes. Phenomenal organization. UMCOR has brought several truckloads, UMCOR being the United Methodist Committee on Relief. They've brought several truckloads up, but those things take time. So, like right up from the beginning, pretty much everybody knew that we were going to have to pull together to get through this, and that's exactly what happened. And meals, at one time, there was 1,000 meals being served, 1,000 people being served per meal twice a day, lunch and dinner. Then that number went up. We were told later it was 3,000 people a meal. So lots of need, lots and lots of need right at first. But we're starting to transition. But yeah, let me see if I can break this one during the live stream. Wouldn't that not be good? I think we're okay now. But it's really interesting because the city itself is in the recovery stage where we've got water, we've got electricity, most of our roads are clear, not all of them, but most of the roads are clear. They're all passable in one way or the other. But we go out and we go to the community of trade, and they still have so much that has to be done. And our town part has pretty much stopped the feeding programs. You're not getting meals, not able to get free meals like you were, like twice a day. But over in trade, they're still having to do that, and they're still going strong because over in trade, it wasn't until a few days ago that like some of my husband's church members got the electricity turned on for the first time since the 28th of September. And heaters have been a really big thing for people because it's cold, but when the waters came in, even in the houses that didn't have much damage necessarily, the water took their heat pumps out, or the trees landed on it and took out the heat pumps. So that's been interesting. And over in trade, they just didn't have electricity. So they're just now at the point where a lot of them are finding out their heat pumps don't work. So, like, giving out heaters has been a really big deal. And for the most part, here in like Mountain City itself, we're not having to do that now because people have been able to get some of the work done to be able to get heaters or to get their heat pumps fixed. And so over in trade, they're just now figuring it out. So, like, the community of trade is probably at least 3 weeks behind Mountain City itself. And that's because they got cut off from everything. I mean, the side roads were impassable. The secondary arteries were just completely impassable. And Highway 421, which is the major U.S. highway, was washed out in places. And I don't mean like small little 2-foot washouts. I'm talking about having to, like, all the roadway is gone and down a hill and a 90-foot drop off. And so, like, one of the problems that they had with getting electricity is in some places, not only were the poles no longer there, but the ground around the poles that would have supported it is no longer there. So that's why they had so much problem with electricity. And when you're talking about the major highway, they had to go in and reconstruct that before they could even start, putting the road down. So let me see if I've got I can't remember like what photos I posted where. I don't have a photo of Highway 421 where the damage there was, and that's because they're still not letting people in. Like state troopers blocking the road, stopping people, and you better have a good reason for going through there or they won't let you in. You'll have to go around on the arteries. So let me see, secondary roads rather. Let me see. Give me just a second here. Okay, I actually don't see the photo that I'm looking for, which is frustrating because I know it's here. So I'm just going to kind of flip through some of the pictures. Yeah. Okay. Let me just flip through some of these to show you kind of where we were. Come on now. Here we go. And Kay says, glad things are started to come back. Know what is still needed is good. Yeah, and it's really, I'm very glad to see it coming together, obviously. Because, like, for example, this was going toward trade. This was one of the better roads on the secondary artery, a secondary alternative route, rather. So they had to go in, and this space right here, right in here, all that debris. There used to be a telephone pole, I understand, right around here, and yeah, it's not there. And so this is somebody's bridge to their house. It caught a lot of debris, and it's actually, you can't really tell from this picture at all, but the whole backside of the bridge is not attached to anything anymore. So they had to go in and fix that. Some more road work. Some more of the road. Okay, here we go. All right, now, computer, cooperate. Okay, so we have situations like this one, and that's where you can see where the pavement's broken, but underneath that, there's no pavement until you get around to this second. No, I guess the middle cone. You see where it's sitting. So the pavement, if I had a photo coming from the other way, which I didn't think to get, you can see where the road's here and then it's eaten out underneath it, going to about that middle thing there. And this part of the road is okay. So they had to go down to one lane. So that's some of the things that they were up against. But that road is fixed now, and you can get on it. And you can use that for at least a while. But we're still having issues, here and there as like trees fall and more damage happens. And this is my husband's church parking lot in Trade. Give you an idea there what they were up against. So, yeah, this is my husband's parking lot at one of his churches. Yep, brand new, resealed parking lot. They just resealed it a few months ago. And I don't know about you all, but I suspect that potentially they might have to reseal it again. I'm just going to guess that. At some point, it's going to have to be resealed, I have a feeling. But they got a lot of work to do to get there. This was the road up toward some of my husband's church members, and they do have the electrical lines up again at this time. And they had just put some of those up. Like, I think this biggest black one and these bottom ones were all down across the road. And so they'd gotten those up. But yeah, this is actually going up to a pretty nice subdivision. But it just had a lot of debris on the road. And they had to go in and fill part of the road in with gravel there in the middle to kind of recreate the road. And none of us are really for sure where all these rocks came from. These used to be in the creek bed. And somehow or other, the force of the water, we've got rocks all over town, all over Trade. And it's like, where were these things hiding? I mean, so it's just kind of crazy. So with all of this, Trade is not as far along in the recovery process as we are here in Mountain City, because they had, a lot more damage for one thing, and then they were cut off for another thing. So there's going to be work teams, Valerie, going in this area for quite some time. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking to see if that was one of the photos where the pavement had been undercut, and I don't think it is. I think the pavement just washed out. But what's really sad and what really hits me is in between these two road closed barriers, you can kind of see this big pile of stuff, household stuff, and that's where somebody's entire life is out on the side of the road. Just because they've gone through, most often Samaritan's Purse, they've gone through and cleaned it out. So like those homes we're anticipating are going to need like paint teams to come in the spring when you can really paint again and get that done. More of the broken pavement. This is kind of interesting. Our post office, okay, let me just tell you, our post office is, okay, so the post office already had some roof problems, and then the hurricane came in, and so now our post office is in an RV. They have a mobile post office. It's a converted RV that the post office has. And so this is our town post office. Yep, that's where we're getting our mail and packages. So I'm really glad they have it. But for me, this just kind of symbolizes the way our town was. So, but the way people have pulled together have been amazing. And we have the construction company that is working on the road is local. We are very, very fortunate. And then they got, yeah, LOL, a mobile post office. Yep. Okay. And I will, Valerie, I'll get you more info as we get it. And it is a cool way to do the post office. You know, I'm glad they were able to do that. But part of the funny thing, though, whoops, I'm going to break this thing in. But part of the funny thing was while our post office was down for some of the repairs, right before Hurricane Helene came in, days before, they had moved our mail, and all of the mail was coming in to trade and then being driven from trade to Mountain City to be distributed. So then Hurricane Helene came in, and we didn't have a working post office in Mountain City because the roof was having to be repaired anyway. And of course, Helene did more damage and more water. And then suddenly, we didn't have mail in trade because you couldn't get there. And so there were a few days there was like no packages coming in and no mail at all. And then they brought in the cute little RV. And so you have to find some things to laugh about. And I just think that was kind of cool. But anyway, so we have a local company working on the road. So it's like, yay! And there's a whole long line of trucks are here to work on the road, work on US 421, getting it fixed. And so we have this huge convoy. And like whenever you see something like this go by, you're like, yay, thank you. Because I got to tell you, these folks are heroes. The line workers are heroes. The first responders are heroes. You just cannot say enough good about them. And okay, here we go. Here's one of the photos that I was looking for a little while ago and couldn't find. Highway 91 connected Mountain City with Damascus, and it took some damage. And I have a video that I'm going to be putting out tomorrow. It's going to go live. And it is a video of driving on this nice newer road where they have fixed what you see here. And this road opened up about a week and a half ago. So when you see that coming out tomorrow, this is like the before picture. Well, I can't really say fully before because they had to do work on it to get it opened up at all. So I'll say this is a better picture because they did some work on it. The whole road just hadn't been opened yet when I was on it for these photos, because you could only be on it if you were doing a supply run, and I was. So I don't know if y'all can tell, but where these construction barrels are, yeah, that used to be the guardrail. The water came in, and the guardrail is actually sitting in the middle and the far side of the creek. It moved it that much. So tomorrow, I've got the video out. We were actually able to drive along it. And as far as Mountain City is concerned, this Mountain City on 421 going toward Trade, this is, for me, that sums it up, what Trade community is going through. And this, until Hurricane Helene came in, this was a church. All that is left of the church now is part of the foundation and part of the roof. I hope you all can see this. I hope it comes through okay. But this is the part of the foundation that's left. And this is part of the roof. And that's what's left of the church because the water took everything else away. So that's going to be a long time coming to be fixed. And right up the street from it is this State Line distribution center. And this person who came up with this she's just amazing. This is actually a skating rink where she did they made, I don't know if it's really a rink, but they at least made ramps and stuff. And she was like, the town has this problem. I've got this building. We need supplies. I've got a place to put them. So let's do it. So from the word go, she took her building and parking lot, and this is all distribution. Let me come back here. And of course, whoops. Okay, that is not a good video. There we go. So there we are with my itty bitty trailer. And there's my husband. But hopefully I'll get a picture of the trailer door that's opened. Oh, there's our site supervisor. Right there. There he is. The one, the only, super dog Pipsie. There he is. And he is not impressed. He's just not. But we let him get out of the van later. He was much happier then. So anyway, that's kind of where we were and kind of where we still are in some respects, as far as trade goes with the distribution center and stuff. So now we're getting ready. The kids are going to get to go to school. We're really excited about that. And all the supplies that we've had come in, Valerie, your supplies that you gave us, they were gone the end of the first distribution. Just like boom. We've had people donate 20 sleeping bags. They made it through one distribution. And we did take some of those to trade because they had their electricity out for longer. So we took some up there because we knew it was going to be longer. The Lutheran Church sent us 4 gross of blankets, quilts, hand-tied quilts. There's 144 in a gross, and we've given all of those out. We have given out soup kits that Kay arranged for, and we still have some of those because I've been slow getting them out. So we're still giving those out, and we are probably going to have a soup kit distribution day where that's all we give out is going to be the soup kits. UMCOR, United Methodist Committee of Relief, has sent flood buckets. We've given out 500 flood buckets. We've had hygiene kits with washcloth, soap, toothbrush, hand towel, comb, Band-Aids, fingernail clipper, and we've given out over 500 of those. Part of those went to the 8th grade at the middle school. So all of the 8th graders have the hygiene kits. So those who have intermittent water at home don't have to worry about bringing their kit back and forth. They'll have those things there at school. And okay, Valerie said that her mom and sisters contributed to the cost of the supplies that she donated. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate everything because everything has gone. And these flood buckets, I'm going to show, let me pull them up. And flood buckets have a clothesline, clothespins, laundry detergent, trash bags, gloves, work gloves, kitchen gloves, rather, one pair of each, N95 mask, detergent. What else do they have? Air freshener. And I forgot what all. So we have, I don't know why that keeps coming up. So we had a truck come in. This was like our 3rd or 4th truck. And we just stacked all of the flood buckets there against the wall. And they were gone literally the next day. Literally the next day. All the bleach. And Valerie, the bleach that you guys did was gone again, like the next day after we put that out. It's just that the supplies have been going out really, really fast. And I did this time lapse, and we kind of laugh about it in a way because we're like, yep, that's as fast as the flood buckets went out because they were really needed, and that's what people have been wanting. So, yeah. So that's where we are. Our distribution Friday, we had 211 people that we served. Some of the places are closing up their distribution, so that's kind of putting a little more pressure on us, but that's okay. And you can tell your grandsons that they did a nice job helping you. And I'm sorry, not grandsons. You can tell Gavin, your grandson, that he did a great job helping you pick things out because it's all been needed. So, a question that I have been getting that I meant to answer early on and got sidetracked. I know it's me. How could I ever get sidetracked? Was about Pipsie and how is he doing? And Pipsie has done great through all of this. Now, like the day of the storm, he was alerting constantly while the wind was blowing and howling, and the rain just would not stop, and it was in torrents. He was alerting constantly. It was like, Mom, something's wrong. Mom, something's wrong. We got to fix it. Come on. After the wind died down, he was fine. Absolutely fine. And since then, he's been like just regular Pipsie. He's just been, this nice, calm, happy-go-lucky dog. He didn't like the distribution site the first couple of times we took him because I wouldn't let him out of the van. And he does not like being left behind at all. He's like, I want to be where Mom is. So he did not like it at all, not getting out at the distribution site. But it was just so busy that I really just could not let him out of the van safely. So other than that, he's just done great. But this is one of those short little clips of the video at the distribution site. So I just really could not let him out while we were doing this. So he had to stay in, and he was just not the happiest camper. Otherwise, he's just done great. He's still, right on the mark with his alerts. That didn't slow down. Right on the marks with everything. And you may be right there. Living Positively After Challenges said he was afraid I'd fall. And you could be right. You very well could be, because and in the middle of this, I did not bad, but just enough. It definitely got his attention and mine too. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was going through his little head at all. So, but yeah, ever since the rain went through, I mean, he's just done great, just back to his normal self. Um, I took a trip to Lexington to pick up supplies really early on. And I think that was really good for him too, because he's so used to being in the van and going places with me, traveling, that it was like, okay, this is a slice of normal. Okay. So it was almost, and it was this way for me too, in that everything was crazy here, but like being in the van, that's our frequent MO. So we were able to get in the van, go and get supplies, take our ride to Lexington, and that was just kind of this little break of normalcy for us. The reason we were there wasn't normal, but being on the road, being in the van, gassing up, the whole 9 yards of that was kind of normal. Now, it did take us a lot longer to get to Lexington, Kentucky than it normally does. That was my 27-hour day. And it was hard being up. Once you get over 24 hours, it's just like you get a little punch drunk almost, because it's normally around 5.5, 6 hours. And on that particular day, like I said, I was up for 27 hours. It was insane. Going to Valerie's. I don't even know how many hours it took me to get to Valerie's. Things just kept happening. Like this street would be closed. That street would have a detour. This highway was closed. And then things happened, just on the interstate getting to Valerie's. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I am thinking it probably took me 10 hours to take what would have been a 5-hour trip. What do you think, Valerie? Does that sound like about how long? Because I was like, I'm late. I'm late. Well, actually, you kind of don't have a choice. When you're going to get supplies and you are in a bad area and you know that the supplies that you're going to get are, or at least when you leave home, you think that the supplies you're going to get are potentially life-saving, then you really don't have the option to really stop for long. 7 hours or so to get there. Okay. I was thinking longer, but everything kind of just blended in for a while. So yeah. So it was, and then, Lexington was crazy. I went to Knoxville and then went to Memphis and picked up some supplies in Knoxville, ran to Memphis. That was probably easily 10 hours. And it's just because it's taking longer to get anywhere. Now, things are better now, but it's still taking extra time. And just because you're on the road and the road is fine in the morning does not mean it's going to be fine in the afternoon and vice versa, because things happen. Trees fall, another power line will go down, things like that. Yeah, it was cleared up when I got back. Yeah, that was one of the things that happened. The tree was down in the road that slowed me down when I left. That was one of the things that happened. I had been on this road 5 or 6 times, and I go down it again, and this tree had fallen down. And what a lot of people are doing here is they're taking matters into their own hands. So in this case, it was 2 guys in a pickup truck with chainsaws, and they were cutting up part of the tree and then putting this tow strap on the other part to pull it and kind of get it out of the road so we could go back and forth again, because that was a lot faster than like waiting on the state or anybody to get there. But it took them a while. And, I'm not going to complain, except for the fact that it took me longer to get to Valerie's than I really wanted it to. But at least they were, they had the knowledge and the skills and the equipment to do that. And I have to confess, until that moment, the idea that you could put a tow strap on a tree and pull it had never crossed my mind. Never. But they had to cut it first. I mean, they had to cut huge sections of it and then move those sections and then get to where they could move the tree. But it was interesting to watch them. But I was like, could you please hurry? And see that there was no other alternate route for that. There just wasn't one that I could take. So sit down and, wait for they did it. Yeah, it was cleaned up when I got back. So yeah. So that's where we are. And things are better now. Let me see. No, I thought I had a better clip of the roadway there now that it's fixed better, but no, I don't see that clip. But anyway, Pipsy's done great, absolutely great. Back to his normal self. That only took a day or two, and then with the supply runs, I'm not going to say little, but with the supply runs, it just brought that normalcy in, and I think it helped him get back to himself a little faster. So now I do have news about Pipsie. In between all of this, I have my sticky note here to remind me to tell you all. In the middle of all of this, I get a phone call from the service dog agency, and my new service dog, if all goes well, will be here in March. So sadly excited, excitedly sad, I guess you could say, because Pipsy's going to be going out to my daughter's house, and he's going to be living out there, and then we're going to get the new dog. But he's not going to go out until probably the 1st of March. And then I'll go pretty much directly from her house to Kansas to get whatever the new dog's going to be. And I don't know what kind of dog the new one's going to be. We talked about several different breeds, and we'll just have to see who makes it. So he is going to be starting his next career in March, and that's going to be as a therapy dog, and he's going to have so much fun doing that and getting to play with my grandbaby and all the critters on the farm. Now, if something happens and he winds up not staying with my granddaughter, then he's going to come back to us, and we're going to offer him as a therapy dog here in the conference, which is the United Methodist Church denomination. Instead of regions, they call them conferences. So he would stay out here with us, and we're going to be offering him at conference events so that, if something like this ever happens again and they need a therapy dog to go in, like to a shelter, or if there's a fire, then we can go in those places and let people just pet the dog. So either way, he's going to have that to look forward to. And he loves attention. We joke that he's not a lab, he is an attention hound. So he is going to love it as a therapy dog. And we already know that he and my grandbaby get along great. So either place he is, I really feel like he's going to be fine. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's where we are. And anybody else, anybody have any questions or anything? We are still accepting help. And we're all kind of, I'll go ahead and toss this out too. We're all kind of concerned about what Christmas is going to be like up here because we're a we're in a poor state, poor county. We're one of the poorest counties in the state. Our state is not rich. Everybody, I think all the money is in like Nashville area, Knoxville area, Chattanooga, and Memphis. And so the rest are rural communities. So we already had that against us. So I think we're just all really concerned as far as like what Christmas is going to look like. So I'm going to plan a live stream a little bit later, and it's going to be a fundraiser. And so whatever I raise on that live stream is going to go toward toys or some kind of Christmas supplies, whether we adopt a family as a channel and that's where the money goes, or whether we buy, several smaller toys. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but we're all concerned with that, about that. So a little bit later after we get back, I'm going to do a fundraiser here on the channel. So, yeah, we are going to do that because we're kind of concerned about how Christmas is going to go. And so some of the signups were about 2 weeks ago when we were still in a crisis mode, definitely over in trade and just starting to come out of the crisis mode here in Mountain City. So some of the people that need to sign up weren't able to. So then they're having a second sign up, and it's just, yeah. At this point, we're just now figuring out that there is an up, much less which way is up, So, yep. So we'll be doing that. So, and congrats on the update of your service dog. Thank you. I'm nervous, um, but I'm excited, but I'm sad because he's not going to be here. But then I'm happy because there's another dog coming, and I'm glad he's going to be in an environment that makes him happy, whether it's with us or with a grandbaby. He's just going to be a happy doggy. He is. Oh, and I need to show you, going back to the other thing right quick, supplies. I need to show you what Kay did, and I got sidetracked. Kay collected money for soup kits, and we have like 54 soup kits that we're handing out. And this photo, these kits are still waiting to be made into bigger kits. Those are the soup mixes. So with the minestrone, we're giving tomatoes. With the tortilla, we're giving out a black bean and a canned chicken with that. So those serve 6 on a soup. The tortilla is really going to serve more than 6 because of the other additional items with it. And yeah, so here we are. And I meant to show this a few minutes ago while she was here and I got sidetracked. So we're going to probably just do a soup giveaway where we just give away soup. So, yeah. So that's how we are. Living Positively says she can't wait to see what my new dog looks like. I can't either. We'll see. It's going to be a bigger dog. And we talked about several different breeds. So I have no idea what it's going to be until I get there. Because that's how they roll. So we'll see. I did ask that it not be a Great Dane, though, because I'm not sure I can handle a Great Dane. But maybe a St. Bernard, Newfoundland, some kind of mix. I mean, we talked about so many of them. So we'll see. So, yeah. So, all right. And Valerie, as soon as I get more info, I will get it to you. Give me a couple of weeks. I'm making a note here just so I can make sure I remember to get in touch with you immediately when I find out. So, but we are looking at, doing painting this spring. There may have to be some home repair come up between now and spring. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but there is a possibility some of that's going to happen because it may have to. Because the push is to get people under a roof safely as soon as possible. Hello. What? If you decided I'm in here by myself long enough. Excuse me, y'all. Well, I moved the wrong way, didn't I? What? You can go to bed. It's okay. No? Now I've messed things up. Say hi, Pipsie. Say hi. Oh, you can go. All right. I thought maybe you could see him for a second, but I messed up whatever it was he was doing. So, okay. Woo! Okay. Suddenly a nose got in my. Come here. Come here. You want to say hello to your adoring public? You want to say hi? Hop up. You got to stay here longer than that, bud. All right. Okay. Well, all right, you. So I'm going to go. I think I'm going to have to play with the dog here. And yeah, you. All right. So that's how we are. If you guys have any questions or want information about the area, just holler. I'm going to get back to some of the regular videos in probably another week. I've got a bunch of footage to work on to upload about things we've done and supplies and so forth. And then I'm going to get back to the regular things. So that's where I am. What? He's looking at me reproachfully. I don't know. I got to go figure this out. But anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. And thank you for caring about us and the people here and asking questions about Super Dog over here. What have you got? No. So, all right. Well, I'm gone. Thank you all again. Have a good week. Have a good evening. And don't forget to give me a like on the stream. Okay. Thank you all. Good night. Good night.